So yeah, soccer. Michael
We're
Minnick,
back.
Danielle Malagary here.
We're back. Hopefully.
And we're in the 16th minute. There's no score. And I've been in and out of this match trying to get the technical side sort of, Danielle. But
Sure.
before I left, and when we thought we were still on, Kelsey Weiss with a big save to keep the 0-0.
Yeah, absolutely. There was an uncharacteristic giveaway probably about the 5th minute or so by Tori Huster at the top of the 18. And they came out, my gosh, I'm like...
Words.
Weiss, yes, words. Weiss came out and made a fantastic save on a giveaway from the Spirit. So it's been back and forth about the last 10 minutes since we've had some internet issues. It's been back and forth. Ortega is now down on the field in the far left corner from us.
Being helped off right now. So that's concerning. And that's a position the Spirit were already pretty thin. Laura Del Rio is back today on the bench, so you figure she would probably be option number 1, but it looks like they're going to try and work on Ortega for the time being. So once the Spirit finishes attack, we'll reset things for you, give you the lineups, and go from there. And thanks again for your patience. Dunn winning the ball. Here's Christine Nairn, about halfway to the Spirit's offensive end. And now going back to Estelle Johnson. So the lineups again, if you missed them the first time, which we don't know. Kelsey Weiss in goal. Back four for the Spirit. Left to right of Reynolds, Johnson, Oyster, and Church. Midfield of Huster, Lohman, and Salem. Christine Nairn sitting behind Crystal Dunn and Francisco Ortega for the time being, although she's still being worked on in the corner and is off the field as the Spirit play with 10.
Sure, and while we were gone, the Spirit actually had two very good set pieces. One from the right side of the field was served in by Nairn on her left foot to Church, who Cameron came out and made a great save on that. And then they got a corner off of that from Salem into Lohman, and Lohman's header just went off the crossbar. So it's been an exciting first 15 minutes here.
Steal by Dunn on the right side, going towards the 18, has Lohman in support, cutting back now. Dunn looking for her own shot, broken up by Cutsall. Second chance is deflected out. Spirit appealing for a corner kick. And it will be a goal kick for Brittany Cameron. So it's Cameron in goal for Sky Blue FC. Levin, Cutsall, Grubka, and Maya Hayes across the back. Lytle, Friels, and Hogsman in the midfield. And up top, DeCesar and Deem and Gordon. And again, we talked about this earlier, Danielle, but Maya Hayes at right back is interesting.
Sure. And we did say, you know, a lot of times forwards are converted into outside backs or center backs because they understand the runs of the players that they're playing against. So, you know, they can kind of read the game from that. And you said earlier she only has one goal. So why not move, you know, if something's not working for her, why not move her in the back to keep her on the field?
Looking to see where Ortega's been taken. She's not in the corner anymore. Now she's jogging up the sideline on the near side. So it looks like she's shaking off whatever was wrong with her, so that's good to see. Spirit, though, playing with 10 for the moment as Friels possesses just behind midfield for Sky Blue FC, pressured by Crystal Dunn. Hayes. Square, and Hogsmo let it go for Cutsall. Left it comes for Levin. Token pressure from Church, and now she'll drop back. Cutsall under heat from Dunn. Hogsma. Stolen away by Tori Huster will start the attack. Has Nairn in the channel as well as Lohman. Huster will try the shot herself and miss wide of the near post.
That was a great run. And earlier in the year when they played Sky Blue at Sky Blue, the pressure of the front line and the midfield of Spirit is what actually forced them into that first goal. And that was just great pressure by Tori Huster in the middle of the field to win it. And unfortunately, her left-footed shot went just wide of the goal.
Yeah, so much of the Spirit's goals and attacks this year have been off steals by Dunn or Ortega or Huster or Nairn, just starting something where you have an odd man rush.
Yes, absolutely.
Grown there from the crowd as Nadim went into a forest of players and won the header. Friels dropping it back. Here's the rookie Grubka. Switch left. Kemi Levin will keep it in play with the head, but give it away to Dunn. Nairn making the run up the line for her. Also Lohman in support. Try to play with the outside of the foot. Stolen back by Dunn off the deflection. And now at the top of the 18, the visitors will clean up. Huster gets a foot in, and now Hogsman will just knock it clear across midfield. Oyster having trouble playing that one, and that allowed Nadim to get on the ball. About halfway into Sky Blue's offensive end on the left side. In the center of the park, it comes for Friels. She'll try the shot from deep, goes off the back of DeCesar. Now fought for in midfield and kept by Sky Blue FC's Hogsma. She'll go right for Lytle. Ortega's back on, by the way, so we're 11 on 11 as Lytle possesses on the right side. Harried by Joanna Lohman. And Wilman gets a foot in to concede a throw-in. 21st minute, no score here at the Maryland SoccerPlex. Michael Minnick and Danielle Malagari, thank you for your patience tonight. Ball played towards the top of the 18 to Caesar getting a foot on it. Good cross by Little towards the far post. Too tall for Nadim and headed out by Whitney Church towards Crystal Dunn. Good ball to find Nairn at midfield. Not a lot of support, though, for the third-year player out of Penn State, and she'll hold up and look for help. Salem on the center stripe. Switching it left now for Ortega. Hayes gets a piece of it, and now we'll go back to the safe foot of Brittany Cameron inside her own 6. Nadim showing back for the ball. Played through now, and a deflection will allow Church to get back into play and find Estelle Johnson's feet. Now Huster right for Church.
I think at this point it's kind of been really back and forth. Both teams just need to find their rhythm. With the rain delay, and the water on the field, it's a little slippery, touches a little off. Everybody just needs to get into a little bit more of a rhythm.
And the Spirit are a team that have made a habit of scoring early goals this year, Danielle, as they've scored 4 of their 9 goals in the first 15 minutes of the matches. We're out of that stretch now.
Which is great for them because it was the other way around last year where I felt like a lot of their opponents were scoring early on in all of the games.
Yeah, so many results pulled out of the fire in the second half by the Spirit last year. Washington possessing their own end as Estelle Johnson gets it square from Oyster and plays in Angela Salem. You're just joining us. Have quite a halftime packed for you as the ball gets through and Dunn can't get on the end of it, as we'll be joined by Sky Blue FC play-by-play man Charlie Flo and then Lori Lindsay making her first appearance back at the Plex after retiring last year.
And it just so happened it was against Sky Blue, her final game here at the SoccerPlex.
Yeah, that was a game that the Spirit were hoping to win to cement that playoff spot. They couldn't do it, but results elsewhere allowed them to get in with that 4 seed. And a good showing, but a loss at Seattle. And Sky Blue FC missed the playoffs last year despite finishing the year as one of the better teams in the league in terms of form after making the playoffs in the first year of this league in 2013. Ball through for Nadim, trying to turn, gets a little bit of a flick on it, but Kelsey Weiss was in good position and caught it.
And those are the types of balls that Hayes could potentially see as a former forward, now as a right back. That was a great service into Nadim's path from Hayes that she saw, and she just played one touch.
Another reason why Maya Hayes is a choice that makes sense as an outside back is just her pace.
Yeah,
when you're dealing with Ortega and Dunn, you need to have some wheels.
Absolutely.
Cameron dribbling inside her own 18, basketball style, and now she'll give it a punt. Nadim winning the free header. Knocked down now by Estelle Johnson. Second ball won by Taylor Lido and Sky Blue FC. Gets it back off the flick from Nadim. Now it's Friels on the right side, 35 yards from goal. Chip towards the top of the 18. Good tackle for Megan Oyster. Second ball cleaned up by Salem. And now the Spirit on the move through Crystal Dunn. She'll cross midfield on the dribble. Hogsma harrying her. Nairn overlapping to her right. Ortega on the left. And the pass is given away to Lido, who is in good position. To Caesar now on the right side. Somebody that we saw in the preseason in 2013 while playing for Duke. Was drafted by Boston last year. Only played in 1 game for the Breakers. Was in camp with FC Kansas City earlier this year and got cut and found her way to New Jersey. Good ball here to the middle. Touch from Nadim. Shot from Nadim. And Oyster fighting for it, as is Huster. Chances are blocked and finally cleared by Angela Salem, as I thought Nadim would have pulled the trigger earlier. Just couldn't quite get the shot off.
Sure. And much like the save, and here's offside.
And Ortega is off the pass from Dunn.
And much like the save that that Weiss had to make earlier, another uncharacteristic giveaway by Tori Huster in the middle of the field, just to release it a little bit too early into the run of Sky Blue, and off Nadim went.
You can see why Sky Blue FC has been so stingy defensively, with the exception of the 3-0 loss to the Spirit, because I think their midfield reads the game really well. We've seen Lido, we've seen Friels getting a lot of passing lanes today.
Absolutely.
Long ball intended for Nadim on the left side. Oyster is wise to it and will knock it out for a throw-in.
But something that, and what you're saying in the passing lanes, they're just being patient defensively. They're just shifting side to side. They're not putting high pressure. They're really not allowing the midfield for the Spirit to develop anything in the middle.
Yeah, pragmatic, not taking a lot of risks.
Right.
Just kind of letting things come to them, and it's been successful so far. Throw towards the left side for Friels. Heavy touch there. Gets the cross off, but it's off the mark. Did it get a piece of Huster? It did. And Sky Blue FC had just one first half corner kick entering this game. This will be number 2.
I did see that tweet that you sent out earlier in the day.
That's crazy. First game of the year, you get a first half corner kick, and then you go 4 games without one.
Yeah.
Serve in towards the far post. Weiss trying to punch it. It's popped up by Kutzall. Headed back in the mixer by Gordon, and caught on her line by Kelsey Weiss. Promising set piece there from Sky Blue FC, but amounts to nothing in the end, and Weiss will spray it left for Catherine Reynolds. Johnson wearing that patch on her right thigh. Was listed as probable for this game, but is in the lineup from the beginning. The center back pairing of Johnson and Oyster has been consistent ever since Holly Krieger went down in the first half at Houston, and they've grown together and played well. Ortega fighting forward on the left side as it goes out for a throw.
And we did get to see a lot of what Estelle Johnson was able to do in the preseason. And she has gotten, I think, better every single game.
Christine Nairn just past midfield on the left side. Will play it in the center circle for Angela Salem. Centrally now for Dunn. Tackle from Kutzall breaks it up. And the Blues will counter the other way. Hogsma, who's playing as that holding mid in front of that back 4, will go left. As Hayes has switched sides with Levin. He's now on the left, Levin on the right as it comes back to Cameron in the box. That right back spot for Sky Blue FC has been not necessarily a trouble spot, but a spot in flux. They played a lot of players there.
Right.
Meg Morris got the start last week, but is not with the team today after picking up an injury. Was listed as doubtful in the injury report, and that was honest. She couldn't make the trip.
Mm-hmm. Well, with this change here, putting Hayes to the opposite side, I say, is that a tactical move because of Dunn on that side? But then you also have Ortega on this side, so both strikers for the Spirit have a significant amount of pace.
Ortega shielding and drawing the foul. I don't think Levin did too much other than just fight back 50-50 there. But
Ortega played it well.
The whistle there, and a free kick for Christine Nairn on the left flank as Margaret Domka will have a word with Taylor Lido and Katie Friels. Certainly not a bookable offense.
No,
like we said, not even a foul. But Sky Blue FC with a lot of size in that back 4. Kutzall is 5'10". DeCesar's 5'10". Spirit don't quite have that size, but a perfect ball from Nairn can nullify all of that, but that's not it. Doesn't beat the first player, and it's cleared.
Typically, she's pretty good for those types of services in behind the back line. But just not enough on it today.
Woolman on the left side. Nairn, 30 yards from goal on the left side. Picks out a ball towards the far side. Coming in forward is Ortega, but it's headed out instead by Levin, who has gone back to that left side. Huster blocks the clearance, but Kutzall will clean up and play it for Levin on the left side. Going back to that Nairn set piece, I think it was Willie Mays that said sometimes he would swing at a pitch he liked on purpose in the first inning and miss it, just so he would see it later. So maybe Christine Nairn's playing possum with set pieces right now.
That could definitely be it.
Give and go here as Lido was broken up on the left side, 30 yards from goal by Nairn, and now it'll be Dunn starting the attack and playing it through, looking for Ortega, but too far for her to get a clean run on goal, but she will track it down in the right corner. Church available as a drop. Dunn at the top of the 18, and it will come back for Whitney Church. Church has time and space to pick out a cross. Will play a good one in towards Lohman, but too far inside, and Brittany Cameron will make the play in the 30th minute. No score here at the Plex. Half chances both ways, but the best one came Sky Blue FC's early as a miss hit from Kelsey Weiss out of the back gave Nadia and Nadim a chance, but Weiss making a good point-blank save to keep this match scoreless. Kutzall dribbling across midfield. Into the channel left for Nadim, marked by Whitney Church. Nadim towards the in-line, on her right foot, looking for help. Good defending from Church, and now Donna come over to help. Cross comes in, and a flashing header from Kutzall goes just wide of the near post.
I think, that header from Kutzall, if it would have gone back in the direction that it came from, I think it absolutely would have been a goal. Just she kind of pushed it towards the far post, and with the movement of the ball, just continued to go wide.
Yeah, and Weiss, I think, was going to her left, too, so it would have wrong-footed her if you would have gone, like you said, back the way it came.
Absolutely.
Spirit 1-0 at home this year. picking up that win against FC Kansas City a couple weeks ago. And for Sky Blue FC, their third trip on the road. They won at FC Kansas City. That was the game that was at Sporting Park to open the season. And then went to Chicago and lost 1-0. No shame in that to the only undefeated team in the league left after Portland lost today. DeCesar trying to get loose on the right side. Does get the cross off, but tough angle, and Kelsey Weiss will make the easy catch on one hop and look to distribute the ball here in the 31st minute. We've seen some wild ones between these two teams, Danielle. I think back to the 3-3 game we had here last year where the Spirit got 2 late goals. We've also had a lot of 1-0 games. When I was doing the series history for my preparation, 3 1-0 games that were all won by goals from Monica Ocampo. But she's not here right now.
Hey,
she's with Mexico. So
that's probably a good thing for the Spirit. That's a great thing for the Spirit.
Nairn dribbling across midfield. Spraying it left for Ortega. It's a good ball here as Hayes tracked back to mark the Nigerian. Ortega dribbling towards the 18. Step over move. Another step over move. Looking for help. Ortega towards the end line. Cross is deflected by 2 players. Now Lida will shepherd it towards the sideline as Dunn was pressuring, and the Spirit will get a throw deep here in the 32nd minute. Dunn against Hayes. Pass is deflected. Picked up by Lohman. Reynolds will now get a look 25 yards from goal. Go up the line on the left side for Lohman. Early cross in towards the 6. Headed down by Cutsall as Cameron was in the area as well. Lida with a good play square for Gordon. Opening up left is Nadim, and she'll get it. Crossing midfield on the dribble. Picked up now by Whitney Church. Nadim, step over towards the 18. Tries the right-footed shot, and it's a good one, forcing the punch from Weiss over the top for a corner.
And Weiss actually did a great job of tracking that play the whole entire time. She continued to move with the ball and move her angle as Nadim went, and she was just able to tap it right over the bar.
Too much space for Nadim, though.
Exactly. Oh, absolutely. You never want to give Nadim that much space.
So, second corner of the first half here for Sky Blue FC will come from Shauna Gordon. Be a left-footed ball. Lido marking the keeper Weiss. Everybody else in white and orange at the top of the 18 milling around, making their runs now. Ball comes in towards the top of the 18. Gets by a couple players and nearly knocked in there by Grubka at the far post before it was cleared. She didn't know much about it, but it went off of her.
Right. And that's why you have post players. Crystal Dunn just did a great job of clearing it right off the line for the Spirit.
Very nearly the first professional goal of the rookie Kristen Grubka's career. Was so good for that Florida State team that won the national championship last year. 19 shutouts for FSU last year.
Wow. That's what you call a dynasty.
In the ACC.
Yeah. Yeah, that's tough in the ACC.
Throw for the Spirit here in the 34th minute. No score here at the Plex between the Spirit and Sky Blue FC. Michael Minnick and Daniel Maguire here with you. Thanks for going through the audio. I won't confirm that our presence on camera 3 weeks ago broke it, but no video today. It wouldn't have been you. It definitely would have been me. Hayes playing it towards the top of the 18. For DeCesar, broken up by Tori Huster. Nairn calls for it and gets it. Space for the veteran Nairn to attack as she heads towards midfield. Plays a 1-2 with Salem and now goes back to Johnson. Huster now. Outside of the football up line looking for Dunn, but stolen by Hayes.
And
Grubka now for Hogsma.
Hayes is back on the right-hand side now.
I wonder, and we'll have to keep an eye on this, maybe it's one of those things where wherever Crystal Dunn goes, she goes.
Yeah.
As I believe that the time we saw Hayes on the left was when Ortega had moved over here. So we'll keep an eye on that one. Grubka goes back to Cameron. Hayes heading it across midfield, won by Huster for Washington. Given away, though, to Gordon. Fancy footwork to shake Angela Salem and now go back to Cutzel. Gordon on the right side. Will chip it into space, looking for Nadim. Off her line is Kelsey Weiss, and she'll scoop it.
Kelsey Weiss has actually done a very good job this game at coming off of her line and reading those types of balls, types of services into Nadim. Nadim's always looking, at least today, has been looking a lot for the ball in behind to go 1v1 with Weiss.
And we mentioned earlier the growing chemistry between Estelle Johnson and Megan Oyster has to apply for Weiss as well, now getting a couple of matches in a row behind this back four.
Sure. And Weiss was able to get a little bit of preseason time when Ashton Harris wasn't here with the back line.
Kutzel now. Marked by Christine Nairn. Square it comes now for Grubka. And back for Cameron. Skyblue FC on the road, content to be patient here. Scoreline's to their liking so far, 0-0 here in the 37th minute.
Everything just kind of settled in the last 30 seconds. The play, the fans, everything.
Here's Nadim, though, making trouble on the left side of the 18, marked by Whitney Church. She'll go to work. Church gets a foot in and concedes a corner. So after getting one first half corner in 3 matches, in 5 matches, that's 3 now this half for Skyblue FC. Katie Friels will take it. So we'll take Friels on the left side, Gordon on the right as the corner kick plan of attack for Skyblue FC. Friels is a good choice.
You know, like we said earlier in the game, you know, once they score a goal, the floodgates open. I guess the same goes for corner kicks.
Driven in well. Weiss didn't know much about it as it got all the way through. Cleared by a Spirit foot. Hogsmo will play it left for Friels, who will regroup against Church. Go up the line for Lytle. Cross in. Loose now, and a great save from Kelsey Weiss going to her left from 4 yards out, denying Grubka's opportunity.
Now that is what we call a reaction save. That was just very well read by Kelsey Weiss.
And I'm sure there'll be a conversation between those two former Florida State teammates about that. Grubka getting denied now twice by Kelsey Weiss. Reynolds.
Hey, there's got to be a sense of pride, though, for Kelsey Weiss. You know, they're both at this level, and she's like, I played with you for this long at Florida State. Now I'm going to deny you at this level.
Well, and quite a UCLA reunion as well as Oyster, Didasco, Killian, all on that Bruins team that won the national championship 2 years ago.
Right.
Oyster in the 11 today, and Killian not starting for the first time this year for Skyblue FC, and Didasco on the bench again as she's come off the bench twice this year for the Spirit, but has not gotten that first start yet. It seemed like bad timing for her to get hurt in preseason. She was really playing well, and then took a bit of a knock, missed a couple weeks, and is fighting to get back on schedule. And, you know, I think she was kind of targeted for the role that Dunn's playing. If Dunn had made the national team, I think Didasco might be your option, where she's that speedy defender turned forward.
And we saw her in, I believe, the FCKC game, you know, come in that role.
Nadim, square now for Friels at the top of the 18. Cutback move and a shot. Didn't get a lot of mustard on it, and Weiss diving to her left will make the play, but Skyblue FC building some momentum. They've had the better chances of the half for sure, and especially the last 10 minutes.
Absolutely. And I was going to say earlier, their best chances were from giveaways on the Spirit, and they're actually getting into rhythm and starting to build out of their midfield. They absolutely have had the better run in the last 10 minutes or so. Now
it's Kelsey Weiss's turn to calm things down a little bit. Dribble out of her own 18 and now knock it forward. Grubka wins the header. Knocked down now by Huster. Kutzel will let it roll for Cameron, who will kick it with a right foot first time. Header won by DeCesar coming back. Falls to the feet of Whitney Church. Nearly another turnover in the back, but Johnson gets to it and sprays it left for Crystal Dunn. 40th minute as Dunn goes back for Reynolds. Up the line, the pass comes for Dunn, who tries to get a step on Hayes and does so as Hayes stumbles. First time cross in by Dunn towards the top of the 18. Kutzel gets a piece of it, does enough to deny the charging Salem, but now a turnover. Nairn for Dunn. Now Lohman. Left it comes again for Dunn, and she knew she was offside and just frustratingly hit it with the outside of her right foot to knock it back to Cameron for the set piece.
I actually think the fans were just calling for a handball inside the box. It looked as if, who was it that just cleared the ball outside?
Kutzel.
Kutzel. It looked as if Kutzel made contact with her foot, but then it looked like it just died with contact with her hand. But we're all the way up here. I can't see that well anyways. That's what they're down there for, the ones in blue.
Hard challenge there as Huster is fouled by Katie Friels, and the Spirit will get a free kick here in the 41st minute. Nairn now. Left for Reynolds. Dunn. Turning inside, but too many players in white and orange, and she's finally dispossessed. And Huster will pick up the clearance play. Dunn again. Nairn, 25 yards from goal. Will try the low left-footed shot, but Cameron saw it all the way and made the scoop, and now she'll tell her back four to get up, and she'll take her time before this punt. Cameron still thinking about this one. We'll finally roll it out and avoid the 6-second call.
Nairn was actually asking for that earlier in the game. She kind of followed her across the top of the 18, asking for the 6 seconds.
A rule I think that, didn't get a lot of attention to the Olympics 3 years ago when
Yep.
Abby Wambach famously got the call against Erin McLeod in Canada and flipped that game the Americans' way. Ortega on the right side, charging forward, getting the low cross in, but Cameron will make the play at the near post as Nairn appealed that ball had gone out of bounds before it was touched, but didn't get the call. And now Friels is fouled in midfield by Huster. Those two will be battling all night.
And what I've seen from Huster so far today defensively is she kind of just sits in the middle of the field, and then as soon as that ball is played into the middle, she just attacks. She is so high pressure in the middle of the field tonight. And she's done well to win balls inside the middle.
Dunn and Hayes fighting again, two of the most highly touted rookies in last year's class. And this round won by Hayes as she gets a throw in here on the near side in the 42nd minute. No score here at the Plex. Friels trying to split Salem and Huster, but Salem, wise to it, will get back and go square for Church now, who will dribble across midfield on the right side. Pressure by DeCesar. Goes inside and under the foot of Francisco Ortega, who will be playing her last match for the Spirit before leaving for the World Cup. Represent Nigeria. Dangerous play there against Lohman as she kicked the ball while sitting on the ground.
Typically, that type of call is not called unless someone is around her. And she did, unfortunately, have somebody with her there.
Yeah, Friels was right there. Cutzall will take the set piece, the former BYU center back. She was Lindsay Lisenby then, now Lindsay Cutzall. Way off now for Friels, tries the outside of the foot shot with the left foot and whistles it high. It was the right choice of club, but just couldn't quite land it on the green.
If that would have just dropped a few inches shorter, it definitely would have had Weiss. Weiss wouldn't have had a chance because she was a little bit far off her line.
Weiss, I think, would be the player of the half for the Spirit right now. Apart from that one giveaway, she's been very good. Has to come to work now as Oyster heads it back dangerously, and Friels was charging down her back, but Weiss read it well, came out and made the play just in time. Nairn, just behind midfield on the left side. Harried by Hogsma. Good ball to find Salem in the center circle. She'll play it through now for Crystal Dunn. Chance now for Dunn, and whistle here, and the flag is up on Crystal Dunn. Just. Cameron did well to come out, and Cutzall did well to come over and break that up and not allow a clean shot for Crystal Dunn, but that was dangerous.
Yeah, and Crystal Dunn, I would have been down for the count on that tackle from Cameron, but Cameron made a good play. She came out, tried to get the ball, but unfortunately got Dunn, but Dunn was offsides prior to that play. I cringe every single time I see Crystal Dunn go into a tackle like that.
Gordon's chip towards the left side, brought down low by Lytle on the left edge. Whips across back in and behind the goal of Kelsey Weiss, and it will be a goal kick for the Spirit in the 45th minute. Looks like 2 minutes of stoppage time is what we're going to get. Ortega's injury, the big reason for that. Stop things in about the 20th minute, but the Nigerian has continued and has looked good. She's taken a lot of abuse the last couple weeks.
Oh, yes.
The Portland game last week, she really was taking some hard challenges.
Well, she came in here and made an immediate impact for the Spirit, so she's going to have a target on her back because of her speed and her ability on the ball.
Official indication of 2 minutes, which we're into right now, of stoppage time here in the first half. No score between the Spirit and Sky Blue FC here at the Maryland SoccerPlex. This match was delayed about 10 or 15 minutes at the start as there was a thunderstorm that passed through the area about 4 o'clock and knocked back the pregame warm-ups in the start of this one, but no rain right now, and we're hoping that continues. I'm always leery of saying that after the Boston jinx last year.
Oh, gosh, yes.
I said, oh, we haven't heard the lightning siren yet, and then immediately it went off.
We've been good at jinxing certain things over the last few years here.
Space for Lido, playing it through for Friels. Johnson gets a piece of it with the tackle, still loose inside, and Oyster will let it go, and it will be a goal kick. Thought Sky Blue FC would make a pretty good case for a corner there. Johnson doing just enough to slide in and get that one. That's a dangerous tackle to make, too.
Right,
going back diagonally towards your goal. You do it wrong, you give away a penalty kick. Nadeem popping up, playing it for DeCesar. Fancy footwork from Friels to win it in a sea of blue and red, and finally Lohman dispossesses her. Church going up the line. Touch inside from Ordega, just off the mark for Christine Nairn. Nairn in a bit of a different role the last couple games with Laura Del Rio on the shelf. She's playing more of like a false nine attacking mid instead of being a line back in the midfield.
Which is fine because with Lohman and Salem and Huster, they do well at kind of switching the triangle a bit. And Christine Nairn is good with her back to goal. She can check to it, receive it, lay it off. She's very versatile in the middle of the field.
Nairn trying a shot from deep, and she saw camera was off her line, and that would have been maybe the most spectacular goal Nairn scored, and that's saying something. That's the final kick of the first half here as the Spirit and Sky Blue FC go to the half 0-0, Danielle, but certainly a lot of action to talk about.
I think for Sky Blue, something they can take away from the first half is I thought they got more and more confident going forward through their midfield. They started combining, finding a demon behind. I think their confidence needs to continue to grow as they continue to build through their midfield. I think the speed of play needs to be a little bit better. Sometimes defensively, the defenders on the ball, midfield on the ball, a little bit too many touches. They need to get the ball moving a little bit more.
To the net, Onyewu has scored! That is Zoe Alexander. He can play linebacker, he can play defensive tackle. This is a gifted athlete, and obviously, he can play special teams. Josh Morgan, touchdown!
Back to the matter at hand. We're about a minute away from the second half getting underway, Danielle, and no goals to speak of, but both teams have had substitutes warming up, and it'll be interesting to see if there are any changes made. It looks like there's at least going to be one move made at the break. Laura Del Rio is going to come on for Joanna Lohman. So you figure that's going to be Del Rio playing that center striker spot, and Nairn will move back a line.
Yep, and I thought Lohman had a solid first half. So, it's just a tactical change to maybe put a little bit more pressure on the Sky Blue back line. Have Laura Del Rio up there.
keep an eye on Ortega as well, as she picked up a bit of a knock in the first half and was on the sideline for a couple minutes, but then returned. But, looked okay, but, a wet night, sometimes maybe you tweak something again, and your night comes to a quick end. So reset the lineups here for you. Sky Blue FC is unchanged. It's Cameron in goal, Levin, Kutzall, Grubka, and Hayes across the back. Lytle, Friels, and Hogsman in the midfield. DeCesar, Nadim, and Gordon up top for the Spirit. Good first half from Kelsey Weiss. She'll keep her spot in goal in front of behind a back four of left to right. Catherine Reynolds, Megan Oyster, Estelle Johnson, and then Whitney Church at right back. Midfield will now be Nairn, Salem, and Huster. And up top it's Dunn, Del Rio, the sub, and Ortega. And obviously you're going to get something different from Del Rio up there. What do you expect her to kind of change in this one?
Well, with the addition to her in the front line, it allows Christine Nairn to Christine Nairn is really good spraying the ball right and left. So a lot of times when her back's to goal, she's not able to do that, so she's not able to find those seams. So it'll just give a different look for the forwards and definitely the run to the forwards for Nairn to try to find them.
Another note on Nairn that I was going to bring up in the first half, and then play intervened. She is still wearing that tape on her wrist, so that's something that happened in the first game, and it's still bothering her, and she's been able to play through it and be spectacular. They were getting an assist there as the pass was well blocked by Grubko on the slide through from Dunn, and then whistle here, and it'll go against the Spirit, and a free kick for Sky Blue FC as Margaret Domko blows the whistle in the 46th minute. Sky Blue FC with 7 shots on goal in that first half to the Spirits 2. They get 3 corners to Washington's 1. And that's something that is reversing a trend for Sky Blue FC, as I'll finish the thought after Salem cleans up this play. Jim Cabrera's squad has been outshot this year, entering today 78-36.
Wow.
So the fact that they've been able to kind of keep their heads above water and really only lose that one game by multiple goals to the Spirit speaks well for the job that Cameron's done in goal and the job that the back four has done to not allow those shots to be dangerous. Speaking of dangerous, Nadim sliding it through a stumble there in the box, and Salem gives it away, but DeCesar's shot is blocked by Estelle Johnson, who was in the right place at the right time, but another uncharacteristic mistake from the Spirit.
Yeah, and that's definitely something that, going into halftime we didn't touch on before, but right now they just need to clean it up. Out of the back, clearances out of the back. Megan Oyster went to clear, and it completely missed her, or she completely missed the ball. They just got to clean up the clearances and clean up their passing in the middle as well.
Gordon's left-footed serve is a good one, punched by Kelsey Weiss towards the top of the 18. Del Rio's first meaningful touch is to clear it. Ortega's touch to bring it down is heavy. She'll run it down the sideline and go up down looking for Laura Del Rio, but Hayes wise to it will knock it up the line. And I'm sure the message to Maya Hayes is keep it simple. If you're in an unfamiliar position, just knock it long like she did there.
We always teach at the youth levels, when in doubt, kick it out. And that's exactly what she did in that moment.
Now she comes back over to win a header on a ball intended for Crystal Dunn. As you said, Nairn had dropped back deep, and now she tries again to play Del Rio, but it's picked off by Kutzel and played up for Tara Lytle. Ship up the middle intended for Friels, but it'll come through. Weiss will call off Estelle Johnson, scooping her own 18. 48th minute, no score here at the Plex. Again, if you're just joining us, this game start was delayed about 15-20 minutes by a thunderstorm in the D.C. area. But warm-ups proceeded once we got going without a hitch. Is another bad pass from Estelle Johnson, and Oyster can't keep it in play on the sideline. That was an unforced error there on a switch, and it gives up a throw-in in a dangerous spot.
Just a little too lackadaisical, I'm sure for Mark Parsons right now, out of the back. They're just not doing a very good job from the back line at connecting with each other or the midfield.
Church blocks the turn from Lytle, and it goes off a camera person behind the goal. It'll be a corner for Sky Blue FC.
And you were just speaking about, Sky Blue being outshot by a huge amount of their opponents. They're actually winning. We don't really have the stats here with us in front of us, but they're absolutely winning that battle against the Spirit.
Corner goes far post this time, headed by Del Rio, and she'll tangle up with DeCesar and draw the whistle. It was a little slow in coming, but pretty clear cut wrap around there from DeCesar.
And actually, going back to the point I just made, I look over at the scoreboard. We don't usually use those numbers below, shots on goal for Washington, 2 shots on goal for Sky Blue, 7.
Yeah.
So Weiss has come up big time so far.
Going back to that set piece, it worked out well for the Spirit, but they don't want Del Rio marking DeCesar,
No.
who's 5'10" on a set piece.
Right.
DeCesar winning a header there off the distribution from Kelsey Weiss, and the second ball's picked up by Huster and played right for Church. Trying to turn his Ortega, but good job there from Levin to stand her ground to win the ball for Lytle. Pass in the middle for Friels is sloppy. Salem gets a touch in, but it's won by Gordon. And her through ball off the mark, intended for DeCesar, allow Weiss to handle her own 18. 50th minute, no score. The last 5 meetings between these two teams had a goal in the first half. So that trend being broken right now. Del Rio stood up, but Dunn wins the second ball in midfield, about halfway into the Spirit's offensive end, but off the deflection, it'll come back to Cameron. And then before that, it was the couple games I mentioned earlier where Monaco Ocampo got 1-0 winners, 58th minute, 74th minute. Spirit are 1-5-2 against Sky Blue FC all time. The one win coming this year, 3-1 up at Ursac Field a couple weeks ago. Oyster trying to keep Nadim at bay, and will knock it out for another corner. And we talked about Sky Blue's woes in getting corners. The Spirit have conceded a lot. This is 43 now in 5.5+ games.
Wow. And I believe against FCKC when in the home opener, it was like what, 10 or 12?
9 in 1/2.
Yeah,
I
okay.
think 11
that's
for
what
the
it was.
game.
Yeah.
Left-footed ball served in by Gordon. It's a good one towards the middle. Header won there in the center of the park by Grubka, but it goes high and wide. She's been a good attacking option from that center back position, Kristen Grubka.
She's had a couple great looks going forward, most of them coming from corner kicks.
This is a part of the game where the Spirit have made hay in the past. They've outscored their opponents 3-2 in the first 15 minutes of the second half, but they've really struggled to get possession here in the first 6.5 minutes against Sky Blue FC in this half. Oyster pushing forward. Chip looking for Ortega, headed out by Cami Levin. One on the side, well by Nadim for Lytle. 35 yards from goal, she'll play it centrally. Friels will let it roll for Gordon. Lytle trying to turn, laying it off for Nadim. Touch there from Church to break up that attack, and now Oyster will knock it out for a throw in here on the near side. 52nd minute, no score. Levin to take. Nadim posting up on Oyster. Good battle there. Both players go down, and the foul goes against Megan Oyster, and she shrugs and says, "What did I do?" Dangerous free kick for Sky Blue FC, about 22 yards from goal on the left side.
And these are definitely the types of fouls you don't want to be giving away, because I really do think Sky Blue has been incredibly dangerous on their corner kicks. They just really haven't, going back to what Charlie Flo said at halftime, unfortunate not to have a goal in the first half. So these are definitely not the set pieces you want to be giving up when they're pushing on your back line. Margaret
Domka lining the two-player wall of Ortega and Del Rio inside the 18. It'll be a really good look here for Katie Friels to cross the ball or even maybe shoot this. Driven ball towards the far post. Bounces off a couple of heads. Looks like Grubka got the last touch. And the AR on the far side disagrees and gives a corner.
Yeah, we really, without instant replay, we really can't tell who went off there.
I like that driven ball, though,
yes.
from that position.
These are dangerous services. Every single time they've had a corner. I think this is corner number 8 at this point.
Gordon will try again from the right side, left-footed. Comes in low towards the near post. Hits a couple of bats, goes off of Kutzel, still loose in the 18. Comes back down, and the shot from Friels is inches wide.
To me, it looked as if Friels chose to just kind of strike it with the inside of her foot, and it took it wide of the left post. I think if she would have struck it with her laces, it would have been a little bit more dangerous, a little bit more on frame.
Yeah, and then you're worrying about deflection if you're the Spirit,
exactly.
because everybody was charging out of the 18 except for Friels. Battle in midfield now as Salem wins the ball on the 50-50 challenge against DeCesar. Right now for Ortega. Spirit trying to build some attack as they've been quiet on the offensive end lately. And a good tackle from Levin knocks it out for a throw, which Whitney Church will jog up to take. It'll come from the right side, about 22 yards from goal. Comes short for Lara Del Rio, who will turn inside, look for options. Plays the 1-2 with Nairn, but it's off the mark. Picked off by Levin. Whistle here, and Ordega was in an offside position. And a free kick will go Sky Blue FC's way in the 55th minute of a scoreless game. I mentioned earlier, Danielle, that it's been a tight weekend. 2 ties, a last-second winner for Boston against Portland today, and dead even here at the Plex right now.
And that goes to show the quality of every team, and every team is getting better and better each year. The quality coming out of college, the rookies that are putting in, great work with their teams. So it's really great to see how competitive every game has been so far.
Throw will come Levin's way. Up the line for Nadim, and she can't keep it in play. And Charlie, and you and I talked about the impact of players that weren't necessarily known names on the national team. Sofia Huerta's done an amazing job for Chicago, stepping in for Kristen Press, scoring 2 more goals this weekend.
And it's such a great time to see who's going to step up and fill those roles, fill those gaps.
DeCesar winning the ball in midfield. Early ball intended for Nadim. Off the boot of Friels, broken up. Headed again by DeCesar, and Kelsey Weiss off the line. She'll try the quick punt here with all 3 of her forwards up, but it's won by Kutzel down for Levin on the near side. Up the line it comes for Taylor Lytle. Lytle will now go left. Levin tries to get away across. Looks like that might have been handled by Whitney Church, but no call here. It will be a corner.
I'm interested as to why Whitney Church would have just passed the ball out of bounds there. Oh, it looks like it was offside.
Okay. That is the call.
Not Whitney Church, Megan Oyster. Excuse me. I think at this time, Jim Gabarra needs to be a little bit frustrated with the fact that they haven't found the back of the net, because they've absolutely dominated the possession, at least in the first 10 minutes here and much of the first half as well.
Well, and after a good start, how many times have you said Crystal Dunn's name in the last 20, 25
right.
minutes? She's been quiet.
Right.
Ordega's been even quieter.
Just the movement of the ball. The Spirit really haven't been able to get a good possession, so far this half. Right now, this is actually their best connectivity.
Del Rio won it now off the pass from Huster. Switching it right, looking for Ordega, and the Nigerian saw she wasn't going to track that one down and let it go all the way to Brittany Cameron. But you're right, Danielle. I mean, normally the adage on the road is if you can get a point, you take it. But I think Jim Gabarra's got to be thinking, we can get 3 out of this.
Yeah,
one.
absolutely.
Going back to the point about the national team players being gone, where it does hurt you is your bench depth. Because who do you bring on maybe to change this game?
Right.
Killian is the name that comes to mind for Sky Blue FC, but you've got some rookies and some players that haven't played much. Knocked forward by Sky Blue FC, and a chance now to counter for Nadim. Charging forward up the middle, playing it into space now for Kim DeCesar. Back in the middle for Nadim. Broken up by Church, and a deflection off of Oyster. Still loose, and Weiss diving on it, scrambling for it, and just beating Nadim to the ball.
And actually, Weiss was actually set to leave her feet earlier, but she moved a little bit and was able to read the path of the ball and continue to stay on her feet to make that diving save against Nadim.
This just feels like a game where if there's a goal, it's going to be off a mistake.
Yes.
Grubka behind midfield in the center of the park. She'll play it for DeCesar. Levin wants it left. She'll get it. Picked up now by Ordega. Inside it comes now for Lytle. Going to work against Church towards the top of the 18. Pass blocked well by Church. Ordega turns, trying to get out of trouble. Goes down, and Domka says, no way, that's a throw-in. I'm not going to give you a whistle for that.
That was a little bit easy there.
Levin's throw will come in the 59th minute of a scoreless game. Michael Minnick and Daniel Malagari here with you. And Oyster slips again, and that allows Nadim to get loose in the box. Nadim on the left side tries the shot. Good sliding tackle from Johnson. Still loose for Nadim as she's pressured now by Oyster. And cleaned up by Salem for a throw-in. And there was. That might have been the opening had the angle not been so bad.
The Spirit have to be kind of thinking their blessings at this point that they haven't conceded a goal yet.
Good ball in from Levin towards the head of DeCesar. Bounced off a couple of heads. Finally, Oyster gets a firm touch on it. And Nairn will just knock it clear on the other side for a throw-in into the stands.
Wow, over the stands. That seemed like a frustration clearance, you know, from her. Up and out.
Throw for Maya Hayes and Sky Blue FC in the 60th minute. Tangle there, and a foul will go against Catherine Reynolds. And a free kick about 15 yards from goal, a couple steps in from the right sideline. And again, good spot for Friels to drive one in if they choose that option.
The first 15 minutes of this half has been like a series of unfortunate events for the Spirit. They're really not able to clear it. You know, when they do clear it, it bounces off a defender, goes back to their goalkeeper. It's just unfortunate events happening, and they're really not able to find any sort of rhythm because of this. On the other hand, Sky Blue has found a great rhythm.
It'll be Gordon taking the free kick towards the 6-yard box, towards Nadim. And she got a little bit of it, but not enough to direct it on frame, and it will be a goal kick in the 60th minute.
And it looks as if Salem's arguing a call right there. Nadim almost used Salem as a ladder to get up for that service.
Spirit bench right now is quiet. Sky Blue FC has a couple subs getting loose. Point of the game where you start to think about changes. Spirit have made one, taking off Joanna Lohman at the half in favor of Lara Del Rio, and Jim Gabera has all 3 subs in his holster for Sky Blue FC. And obviously in a 0-0 game, one change can make a big difference if it's the right move at the right time. Spirit in possession on the left side. Reynolds has not had a lot of the ball in the attacking end, but she plays it now wide. And Dunn is offside again.
I think if we look at the stat sheet, that's probably number 4 for her this evening.
And it's not something you hear a lot about, you know, for outside backs, but Maya Hayes' speed also creates offsides decisions for her team.
Yeah.
Because she can push up quicker.
Sure.
She's caught Crystal Dunn a couple of times, and Odega as well. Flick header from DeCesar is a good one. Nadim trying to get the end of it. Oyster intervening. Second chance for Nadim. Great save from Weiss. The body save, and that one did go out. It would be a corner for Sky Blue FC, but Kelsey Weiss has had to be fantastic today.
Absolutely. She has come up big time for the back line of the Washington Spirit this evening. And you know what? They need to do something to support her.
Yep.
They need to just clean it up in the back.
Nadim keeps finding pockets of space.
Exactly.
Eventually she's going to pocket one in the net.
Yeah, she's dangerous. You can't allow Nadim to have that amount of space.
Gordon's corner, the 9th of the match for Sky Blue FC. Headed out well by Nairn, but right to Gordon. And she can try again. To White's at the near post.
But and this is, you know, talking about national team call-ups, this is what you love to see with Ashlyn Harris being gone at camp. Kelsey Weiss is absolutely filling in huge for her.
Whistle here and a foul on Del Rio, and she'll have a word with Margaret Domka before this set piece. Also, Tori Huster, the captain, getting a bit of a word in with Domka before this free kick, which will come about 10 yards past midfield on the left side. Del Rio saying Hogsma bought a couple of feet with that roll, but she's not going to get that help. Be a right-footed serve from the former Texas Tech Red Raider. And towards the penalty spot, it's a good one over Oyster and cleanly through for a goal kick.
A lot of that happened because of the rush of Kelsey Weiss made a great save. She runs to the top of the 18, releases it to Del Rio, and then Del Rio's like 1v3. There's no chance, you know, of her even winning that ball. The Spirit need to slow it down a little bit and just, again, find feet and find some sort of rhythm in their play.
Grateful to you fans that have found us on the audio broadcast tonight, as video feeds out of commission tonight, but we'll be back in business for Portland in 2 weeks. Worry not. Del Rio now on the left side, trying to shake Hogsma's mark. Chipping it through into the channel for Odega, but good position there from Kutzel when she'll cut it out for Lytle. Taylor Lytle, who's coming back from injury this year after missing a large portion of last year. This is her 3rd match back, and I think she's been very good on this near side. Ball for Nadim. She chests it down. In the center circle it comes for Friels. Forward now for Gordon, who has time and space to pick out a ball left, and Lytle is open, but there's a reason for it. She's offside just by a hair.
Right.
It's a good idea, and that's a run that you don't need to make that early. She had lots of space on the side. If she would have checked it, she would have been onside easily.
Yeah, and the closest player to her was Whitney Church, about 20 yards away.
But again, danger. Gordon had time, 40, 45 yards from goal, to turn in the middle of the field and pick out an easy ball. 64th minute as Kelsey Weiss will take the short for Oyster. Pressure now from Nadim as it comes right for Church. Church knocking up the sideline. Gets through for Dega. Now she'll go one-on-one on that flank. Early cross in towards the far post, towards Dunn. And a vital touch there from Maya Hayes to knock it out for a corner.
And that's why Maya Hayes, every time Crystal Dunn switches sides, she switches sides. She keeps up with the pace of Crystal Dunn. And Maya Hayes did a great job to recover and just clear it right over the end line.
Spirit getting their second quarter of the match, and the first in a very, very long time. Angela Salem will come over to take it. Church is short, Nairn is short, and I think reading that option, Levin and Leita were also short to try and take away the easy pass. Sam will play it short. Church for Nairn. Left-footed ball from Nairn towards the far post, towards Oyster. And getting a piece of it before it gets to Oyster is Kutzel, and Oyster did get the final touch on it, but ball was altered just enough that she couldn't get it on frame.
It was just slightly behind her. Really wasn't able to get much on it.
Well, we said it that Sky Blue FC kind of sniffed out that set piece, but still the Spirit were able to execute it. And I think if you're in that one of those white and orange uniforms and you see Christine Nairn's not taking the corner kick, you'll say, where is Christine Nairn? Because the ball is probably going to go through her.
Where's she going to rip it from?
Whistle here, and a bit of a cheap foul going against Sky Blue FC, as I didn't see too much contact there from Shauna Gordon, but it will be a free kick for the Spirit right in front of their bench here on the near side, which Christine Nairn will take. Chance for the Spirit to maybe cash in a set piece after weathering so many of them on the defensive half. Beautifully flighted ball from Nairn. Headed first by Sky Blue FC's Grubka, and it gets through cleanly for a corner.
Tides are kind of shifting a little bit. It's kind of going a little bit more for the Spirit at this moment. They have Sky Blue on their heels a bit.
Spirit are going to show the same look here, where Salem's going to take the corner. Church is short, Ortega's short, and Nairn's at that corner of the 18-yard box. We've also got Crystal Dunn making a late run from about 25 yards out in the middle. Spin here. Huster is unmarked. It comes towards the far post. Headed out by Kutzel. Second chance for Dunn is blocked on the right-footed shot. Dunn will come back and get it herself. Putting her defender hat once again. And go left for Nairn. Early ball on the floor for Huster. Dunn. Dunn will try the shot from deep and didn't miss it by much over. Not something we've seen in Crystal Dunn's toolkit this year.
Oh, yeah. Most of her goals have been from inside the 18.
Sky Blue FC trying to get their foot back on this game a little bit, Danielle, as you said, Spirit have found it a little bit here in the middle stages in the 68th minute. Friels, dispossessed by Huster. Oyster getting out of trouble and playing it forward for Del Rio. Dodges the tackle from Kutzel. Second ball deflected by Hogsma to Salem. Now Nairn can put her head down. Finds Del Rio and gets it back in the center circle. Nairn looking left. Has Reynolds overlapping. Del Rio calling for it in the center of the park as Reynolds takes a touch. Launches it towards the far post. And Cameron saw it all the way. It hits the top netting and will now be popped out by Brittany Cameron and rolled back to the ball boy.
Reynolds was just a little bit off balance as she went to serve that ball, so she really didn't have much placement for it and didn't really allow it to kind of come in front of the goal, just right on top.
Mentioned it earlier with Charlie when we were talking about Maya Hayes in particular. Outside backs have really not gotten forward for either team tonight at all. And that's not something that is typical of these two teams. They really like to attack from those flanks.
And I don't know if, for both sides, Sky Blues obviously being patient defensively, so maybe throwing numbers forward, is just not throwing numbers forward is a little bit smarter on their end. And same thing, I think they're the Spirit are incredibly concerned about Nadim up there. The more numbers staying back, the better.
And I think that as well as this midfield for Sky Blue FC has played, the other two forwards, Caesar and Gordon, have been a little quiet. If you put Kelly O'Hara with her, it might be a different story. It might be a tougher challenge. Lytle cutting inside, trying the left-footed shot, but Kelsey Weiss saw it all the way. Hopped to her right and made the catch in the 69th minute. Sky Blue FC readying their first change, and it's Lo Labonta, the rookie out of Stanford, who's appeared in just about every match for Sky Blue FC, who is getting ready. The Cardinals leading the scorer last year, and that's something to brag about with the talent that they've had in that program. Kristen Press, Kelly O'Hara. Throw for Sky Blue FC just past midfield here on the left side.
Maybe with this change for Sky Blue, Labonta can bring her expertise of scoring. Because I just think it's that final shot. You know, they just got to get a little bit more lucky going forward, Sky Blue.
Labonta having a long word with Jim Cabrera there on the Sky Blue FC bench, and now she's got her sub card in hand and is walking to the fourth official. Meanwhile, Sky Blue FC attacking through Nadim again, but her touch is heavy, and that allows Salem to clean up. 50-50 header won by Grubka. Miss hit there from Nairn, and she goes down in a heap, and a late whistle here, and Hogsma call for the foul, and again, I didn't see too much there.
No, it was definitely shoulder to shoulder, but it seemed as if the ball was already released once Nairn was hit.
Here's Labonta, and it'll be Kim DeCesar making way, so that's a straight swap up top. Actually, let me correct myself. The 12 was on the board, but it's 2 Gordon that's come off. So Shauna Gordon making way, first change for Sky Blue FC, and we'll see Lo Labonta. Then they announced that it was Levin that came off, but we saw that it was Gordon. There we go.
There's been a couple mistakes tonight.
It's been one of those nights where the rain just messes everybody a little bit up. Oyster now. Switching it left. Brought down for Salem. She stumbles a bit, though, and that allows Lytle to get back in the play, and she'll appeal for the throw in and get it here in the 72nd minute. Spirit have a couple subs getting loose, and DeCosta certainly one that makes sense depending on what Mark Parsons' change wants to be, but she's someone that's been part of every game so far. Labonta unable to run that one down on the pass up the line from Levin, 2 former Stanford players. Throw by Church for Nairn. In the center circle, she'll switch it left. Cut inside now from Del Rio. Looking to play it for Dunn, but it's broken up by Maya Hayes. Comes back now, and Hayes will go all the way to Cameron here in the 72nd minute. Game on an edge right now as seems like both teams are kind of taking a little bit of a deep breath for that final 10, 15 minutes to make a final run at getting 3 points out of this game. As we mentioned earlier, Sky Blue FC's never lost here. The one Spirit win was on the road this year. Labonta picking up the turnover from Huster, playing it in the center. Fake shot from Friels. Look to play it for Nadim. It's deflected. Appeal for offside is not given as Huster had an arm in the air, but Spirit are able to clear their lines and concede a throw into Hogsma. Friels. Nadim up the line for Labonta. Left-footed cross is mishit and over the goal, and a goal kick will come Kelsey Weiss's way in the 73rd minute.
You kind of have to wonder, you know, if Mark Parsons makes a change here for the Spirit with a couple of the girls up and warming up, what kind of change is he going to make and why? Who can add something a little bit more here, because they are really on their heels right now, not playing at their best, I would say.
Teresa Diedrich, who is yet to play in a professional game, looks like she's going to make her debut for Sky Blue FC. She's getting instructions on the bench right now. Whistle here and a throw in for Sky Blue FC. And Diedrich, the former Alabama Crimson Tide player, came in as a trialist, was signed, captained that team for 3 years, so that's impressive.
Yeah,
Header flicked forward by DeCesar, now knocked out by Reynolds for a Sky Blue FC throw in the 74th minute, soon to be the 75th here at the Plex. Katie Friels will come over to take it, and now she'll hand it over to Maya Hayes. Friels, 25 yards from goal, being forced left. She'll play in Camille Levin. Right-footed ball towards the top of the 18, gets by a couple players, headed down by Johnson, but only as far as Friels. Friels trying to find space and shut down well by Salem, and then Lytle shot through. Was it deflected? No, I thought it got a piece of Salem.
I definitely thought I heard some sort of deflection off of Salem.
But it will be a goal kick for the Spirit in the 75th minute, and we'll see Diedrich here. DeCesar making way. Ponte Vedra Beach, Florida for Teresa Diedrich. And it looks like she's going to take up more of a midfield role. And Friels is going to push up, I think, and be either a second forward or a third forward, depending on the formation. Ball gets by Hayes, and now a chance for Ortega to push up the left side. Pass though for Del Rio is deflected. Dunn closes the space though, gets the shot off, and it's blocked at the top of the 18. Recovers to find Salem. Switch right comes for Church. Chested down by the rookie. Right-footed cross in towards the top of the 18. Headed by Kutzel. Only as far as Huster. She can sit at the right foot. Play it now for Nairn. Nairn, the 1-2 with Dunn. Nairn trying to play it through and looking for the run of Salem, but it's deflected. She gets a second look at it. And again, it's Hayes to the rescue with the block. Counter now for Sky Blue FC. Friels playing it right into space. Early cross in from Lytle. Volleyed down by Johnson. Second chance now for Lytle at the top of the 18. Tries the left-footed shot, and it goes just wide. Weiss was beaten, but it doesn't find the net.
Right. What a great counter from Sky Blue. Sky Blue's had, I really think they've had a great all-around game. Defensively, they really haven't allowed the Spirit to find those balls between their back four. They've shut down all the lanes, and then their attacking going for it, just not being able to find the back of the net has been incredibly unfortunate for them.
And they've been able to keep Crystal Dunn off the board, which nobody's been able to do in a starting role this year. She's scored in 3 games and assisted in the other. Came on as a sub, of course, against Houston, but bit of a smaller sample since she didn't go 90. Huster pushing it left. Nadim doing defensive work as it comes through, and the flag is up on Francisco Ortega, and a groan from the crowd, but like you said, pretty easy call.
Yeah.
77th minute. Spirit have 2 changes remaining. Sky Blue FC 1. Although Marushka Waldis, another rookie from Alabama who's never played a professional game, has got the warm-up penny on. Header won by Huster. Del Rio playing it up the line, looking for Christine Nairn, but Grubka wise to it. She'll go back to Cameron in her own 18, and she'll knock it forward towards the far side. Over a couple heads, it'll fall for Estelle Johnson, knocked it forward by Huster. Touch at the center strike by Salem and given away. Friels. Labonta playing it through. Oyster heading it back towards Weiss, and that was dangerous. But Weiss able to get to it.
And this is something that the Spirit have to figure out. They have to problem solve during the half. What's not working? Well, the through balls, because you're offside 9 out of 10 times. So they have to get a little bit more creative in the middle of the final third to try to get themselves either in behind or get some sort of shot off.
Oyster in her own end, playing it for Salem, who's dropped back to get possession. Into the center circle in the Spirit's defensive half. It comes for Huster. Switch left now. Del Rio going to work. Heavy touch lets Hayes back in, though, and she wins the tackle for Lytle. 79th minute as Lytle will look across midfield on the dribble on the right side. Cutting back on Huster. Going square. Labonta. Up the line now, the 1-2 with Diedrich. Labonta again, 35 yards from goal. Switch right into space, but just a hair away from Taylor Lytle, who had a look to push forward, but unable to get a foot on it. And Be a Spirit throw in the 79th minute. Del Rio trying to turn upfield, does beat Lytle. We now cross midfield with a pass up the line for Ordega, who turns on the Jets. Grubka doing just enough to knock it back to Cameron. Now Kutzel. Hogsma. Left for Levin, who has space to dribble towards the midfield stripe. And she'll take it, crossing the line. Diedrich's open to her left. She'll play it for her. Diedrich with space and offside flag again.
I'd be interested to see the stats at the end of the game, to see just the count for the whole entire game. And a lot of times these offsides are called by the person that is nice and wide, who can see across the line, who can see, who can see if they're in an offside position. It's just not lack of concentration.
Skyblue FC gets it right back, though, as a clearance out of bounds from Kelsey Weiss. Cut back now from the Deem. She's in the 18 on the right side. Calling for it is Diedrich. Pass is blocked and cleared by Huster. But again, danger. Huster going wide. Excuse me, that was Hayes going wide. Left-footed ball, played towards the far post. Rising forward is Nadeem, and she heads it low and wide. Beat Oyster there in the air, but couldn't direct it on frame. In the 81st minute, be a goal kick for the Spirit, who need to get out of their own end right now.
Yeah. And this is something I've been saying a lot in the second half, is that, the Spirit's it's not their best game so far. Sky Blue's throwing a lot at them. Kelsey Weiss has come up big. They just have to sort it out for the next 10 minutes, see if they can kind of weather the storm. No pun intended.
Yeah, weather has not been sky blue today. It's been gray.
How many can we come up with?
For the listener's sake, that we'll stop there.
Yeah.
Foul against the Spirit in the center circle will give Sky Blue FC a chance to get everybody forward and take a free kick in the 81st minute. Amanda DaCosta is ready to go for the Spirit. She'll be Mark Parsons' second change here momentarily. Ball in and headed wide is, once again, there's Grubka on a set piece, but that's a tough angle.
Oh, yeah.
Ball coming in from about 50 yards away to see it, turn your body, head it on frame. Here's DaCosta. Angela Salem making way. And I think we all had high hopes for Amanda DaCosta when she signed with this team, but so far she has not made, I think, the impact that we hoped that she would.
And it's still early. She absolutely has the time to continue to grow with the Spirit.
Turnover there from Nairn. 30 yards from goal, it's Nadeem. Dribbling towards the top of the 18 and missing way high off the fencing behind the goal. Third change as well for Jim Gabera and Sky Blue FC. It'll be Marushka Waldis making her American debut. Interesting journey for Waldis, who started playing in her native Netherlands with Herenveen, went to Johan Cruyff Academy, which is just a great name for a high school.
That's awesome.
And then played her last year of college eligibility at Alabama. So not a road you normally see.
Right.
But it's found its way to the Maryland SoccerPlex, and she will make her American professional debut right here. Keller Lytle making way, which surprises me a little.
I think she's been pretty quiet in the last couple minutes here, though.
And Wald is another 5'10" player, so if you get a late set piece, you just stack the deck even more against the Spirit. Huster's header won by Hayes, who takes a tumble, and Crystal Dunn whistled for the foul. 83rd minute, a free kick will come Sky Blue FC's way. Despite the rain and storms we mentioned earlier, the crowd has come out in good numbers today. They've been vocal, hoping to see their team pull out a late winner. Nadeem chipping it towards Waldis. Still bouncing in the box as Nadeem gets it back. Still loose in the 6. Finally, Johnson takes a half-hearted touch at it. That's going to stay in play for now, and Waldis will run it down on the end line. Gets it back from Lobanto. Waldis' cross is blocked by DaCosta. Stays in play, though, on that sideline, and finally goes off of Waldis' head for a Spirit throw in the 84th minute. Huster. Switch right. Trying to run it down is Whitney Church. She can't do it. Throw for Sky Blue FC. And we mentioned, the Spirit's desire just to get out of their own end, killing themselves a lot.
Yeah.
A lot of switches out of bounds, a lot of switches that are not on the mark. And that's credit to Sky Blue FC as well for not allowing them to make the easy pass and forcing them to go something 40, 50 yards away.
Right. Well, and at this point in the game, with about 7 minutes left, with a little bit of additional time, the Spirit just got to say, like, hey, let's get out of this with a point. You know, we could absolutely be down right now.
Or we can set Crystal Dunn down the right side and see what happens. Dunn's cross towards the middle, gets by everybody. Cameron might have got a piece of it. Crystal Dunn leaping and protesting. That was a corner.
Right.
But it will be a goal kick per Margaret Domka. And in the 8th minute, Sky Blue FC can breathe a sigh of relief and knock it forward again.
It did look as if Cameron did get something on that ball to go out of bounds. It looked as if it was redirected.
It bobbled. We'll see if maybe that was a touch from Cameron or a wet spot on the field. Whistle here and a foul against Sky Blue FC. Wabonsa got a piece of Tori Huster. Nairn turning across midfield on the left side, laying it into the channel for Ortega. It's a good ball. Ortega trying to beat Hayes. Ortega's cross gets through. Touchdown just behind DaCosta.
Oh, DaCosta was there.
The flick from Del Rio was perfect, but
Right.
DaCosta was just a step away.
Right.
Spirit regrouping through Dunn. Early ball in towards the far post, towards DaCosta again. This time it's a step in front of her,
Yeah.
and it goes out for a goal kick.
Just an unfortunate touch by Del Rio. I think actually if Del Rio would have dummied it, it would have just been laying right there for DaCosta at the top of the 6.
Some life from the Spirit attack, which has not been something we've said in a while. As they started this game very well, but Sky Blue FC's been on the front foot, but neither team able to dent the back of the net. Will this be a Saturday with 2 stoppage time winners?
Right.
As Boston already pulled that off against Portland earlier. Nadim for 11 on the left side. Heavy touch from Nadim, allows DaCosta back in. Dunn, good ball to find Del Rio. She'll cross midfield on the dribble. DaCosta wants it in space. Instead it goes left for Ortega. And her touch is off. I think she wanted to lay it for Reynolds and just kind of got in 2 minds there and really did neither, and it went through for a throw-in. But again, it's the little things that really cost you.
And especially on a night like tonight, where with the weather having a little bit of effect on how quickly the ball's skipping across the field, you want to make sure those little things are right that help create the bigger picture.
Levin going left. Waldis cutting back as Suster slips. Crossing towards the far post. Oh, everybody watching that one go through as Nadim was making the run at the far post. Goal kick for Weiss as both teams really pushing to get a winner here. Chances both ways. This game has opened up quite a bit. Weiss's goal kick. Ortega trying to turn Hayes. And it will be a Sky Blue FC throws. Ortega got a piece of it according to Domka, but Hogsmo will knock it up the right side. Looking for Waldis. Johnson will call off Oyster and play it back for Weiss, who hits it hard up the far side. 50-50 header one by Wabonta for Sky Blue FC. Nadim trying to turn on Reynolds. And finally it goes out for a Sky Blue FC throw-in. Nairn wanted to take it herself, but linesman said no. Friels. Hogsma. Touched back for 11, 35 yards from goal. She'll go left. 11. Hogsma. Forced back to Kutzel. And a miss it there from Sky Blue FC. Gives the Spirit a throw in the 88th, soon to be 89th minute. Church taking it quickly up the line, trying to spring Crystal Dunn. She turns inside but loses her footing. That allows Kutzel back in. Tackle from Dunn wins it for Nairn. Nairn's outside of the football looking for DaCosta, but Cameron rids it. And we'll pick it up. Now we go the other way. Wabonta charging up the middle. Still nobody picking up the Stanford rookie. Finally, Oyster gets a block as the Pac-12 rivals get going there. And now Oyster will charge forward. She'll go left for Ortega. Picked up by Maya Hayes. Ortega going towards the top of the 18. Shot is blocked. Deflected by Hogsma, but only as far as Nairn. 89th minute as Nairn goes right for DaCosta. DaCosta into the 18, and Dunn zigged when DaCosta wanted her to zag, and it comes through to Brittany Cameron. DaCosta getting herself in good positions, just hasn't quite worked for the former Florida State Seminole.
You just feel right now with the energy that has picked up in the last couple of minutes here that something's going to happen.
Friels bumps into Johnson, and the whistle will go against Katie Friels. Free kick for the Spirit. And this is nothing new for Sky Blue FC.
Right.
Last week's game against Seattle, same kind of thing where it really opened up late. Barnes scored in the 76th minute, and then Nadim's penalty in the 92nd got Jim Cabrera's side a point. Both teams are come out of here with one as things stand now. 0-0 in the 90th minute. We're here to see how much stoppage time we're going to get. No goals, no bookings, a couple of subs.
3 subs. 4 subs.
Yeah, 4 subs because the one change was made at the half, right? I'm going to guess 3. Won't be much time. Church. Nairn just past midfield on the right side. Again for Church. As we move into stoppage time, we're going to get 4, Danielle. Oh, sorry, 2. Read that upside down and read it poorly upside down. Just 2. Levin, pressured by Dunn, forcing a touch, and that should be a corner for the Spirit, as I thought Levin got a piece of it, but no, it's going to be a goal kick. Crowd saw what I saw on that near side.
That was great pressure from Crystal Dunn.
I thought Levin definitely touched that ball, whether Dunn maybe touched it after she did. Cameron knocking it into the night towards the left side. Church knocks it out for a throw-in. Into the 2 minutes of stoppage time. Maybe one attack both ways left. Levin will take the throw. Goes up the near side. Goes through a couple of heads. Oyster fighting off Nadim, knocking it out for another throw-in. Diedrich knocking it up the side, looking for Nadim again. Won by the Spirit. Dunn will play it over the top. Ortega in space. Ortega trying to get it past Cameron. Touches it by her. Ortega in the box with the shot, and she buries it. Francisco Ortega in stoppage time. And the Spirit might have stolen 3 points here.
Oh, my gosh. And I said this 2 minutes ago. You just feel like something is going to happen. And as that ball was played, I said, oh, please don't be offsides. Please don't be offsides. And she wasn't, and Ortega just battled to get that ball over top of Cameron and just buried it into the back of the net.
How is that for a send-off for Canada for Francisco Ortega?
Absolutely. I mean, that was just pure work ethic, just absolute work ethic. And it was well-deserved for Ortega. She's been working so hard tonight, but has been offsides on multiple occasions. But, you know, unlucky for Sky Blue because they've just had the Spirit on their heels. But a lot of times when you score and potentially win games in the manner that Spirit have right now, you know, they'll take 3 points any day out of a performance like this.
How about the ball from Dunn?
Beautiful. Absolutely beautiful.
Sky Blue FC try to steal a point back as Friels gets it. Chips it forward. Chested down in the box. Labonta trying to turn. Shot is blocked. Estella Johnson's just going to knock that one out.
Yeah.
And that will do it. Stoppage time gives to Sky Blue FC last week a penalty kick to get them a point, and it takes away this week. Francisco Ortega getting the Spirit a 1-0 victory.
Absolutely. And you see right now, the Spirit aren't even celebrating. They're just all bent over. They're exhausted. You know, Sky Blue is going to walk away being very upset about this loss because they really had the better match. But, you know, that was just the dynamic duo. I called him that earlier in the game, the dynamic duo of Crystal Dunn and Ortega. That was a fantastic goal.
I said it earlier, 2 stoppage time winners today, and certainly it wasn't as egregious of an error as what happened to Portland where Betos misplayed the ball.
Right.
But Brittany Cameron came outside of the 18 and then stopped.
Right.
And then Ortega touched it past her and finished.
Right. Yeah, just great work by Ortega. Even for Ortega to see Cameron coming out off her line and coming out hard, just a great job to just touch it beyond her and bury it. As she struck it, I was like, is this going to go wide? Because, you know, our angle, angle from up here isn't great. But as soon as it hit the back of the net, just the whole entire stadium erupted.
So the Spirit picking up their 3rd win of the season, and they're least comfortable, to be sure. 2 3-1 wins and now a 1-0 win.
Sure. And I was kind of touching on this earlier. The Spirit didn't have their best match this evening. Absolutely not. But you know what? The sign of a good team is when you don't play your best and you're still able to come away with 3 points. That was just absolutely huge for the Spirit.
Kelsey Weiss kept it 0-0 for a very long time.
Yeah, after that game, if I was her teammate, I would have turned around and run to her because she is the one, looking at the board right now, 8 shots on goal. She came up with 8 huge saves tonight for the Spirit. They were not easy saves.
So, Ortega, we don't have the exact time because the stadium clock stops at 90, but I'm guessing 92nd minute for that winner. We just had the 2 minutes of stoppage time, and I wondered if there was going to be enough time for anybody to do anything when that board went up with the 2 minutes.
Sure.
Yes, it was.
And just looking over at Sky Blue, their posture, hands on their hips, just a little bit frustrated, obviously very frustrated with this outcome because they absolutely dominated. But that's soccer. That happens a lot of times. Teams dominate and don't come away victorious.
And we talked with Charlie Flo at the half about this. Sky Blue FC just cannot put the ball in the net.
Right.
Chances are there,
right,
but they haven't scored more than one in a game all year, and they are shut out for the second time this year. Spirit get their first clean sheet.
Sure. And you know what's great about this, looking down at Sky Blue, they could be angry, they could be frustrated, but it looks as if they're really getting together as a team and saying, hey, we need to keep our heads up. There's so much more of the season left to focus on. Let's move beyond this and focus on that.
And big picture also, the job the Spirit did last year against Chicago was so huge because it gave them a tiebreaker. Now you've beaten this team twice, you're not going to see them again.
Right. Oh, absolutely. So big for the Spirit, in the struggles that they've had against Sky Blue for the last 3 years.
I still have goosebumps. Final thoughts on this one?
Great way to end, I guess. I've been saying it the whole game, not the best performance by the Spirit, but they came out victorious and they battled, they weathered the storm, and Ortega just did a fantastic job to put a beautiful goal in the back of the net.
A Nigerian nightmare for Sky Blue FC as Francisco Ortega in her final game for the Spirit before leaving for the World Cup in Canada scores in the 92nd minute. Spirit moved to 3-2-1 on the year. That's 10 points for Mark Parsons' squad, and they will head now on the road to play at Western New York. That's next Saturday at 7 p.m. Eastern Time. For Sky Blue FC, the road trip continues. They have to turn around and play on Friday night in Boston against the Breakers. That game kicks at 7 p.m. And for them, we talked about it in pregame, their season so far has flipped on the Spirit. 1-3-2 now. 2 losses to the Spirit.
Right.
So, once again, the final score from the Maryland SoccerPlex, the Washington Spirit 1 and Sky Blue FC 0. For Daniel Mulligari and Michael Minnick, good night and enjoy the rest of your evening.